Welcome to the Beyond the Leash podcast, a show where we dive into the world of service dog advocacy and real-world conversations that matter. Tonight, we are bringing a special debate edition where opinions clash, perspectives are challenged, and nothing is off the table. Joining us today is King Sis. We will break down the video he posted of getting into details behind it. So sit back, relax, get a drink or a snack, get ready, because tonight might be the wildest thing ever. Let's get into it, though. Hello, guys. As you all know, I am Service Dog Educator.
I'm Bumblebee.
There we go. We are Beyond the Leash Podcast, and tonight is a special edition called the Debate Edition, to where if we can find someone to debate us about any one of their topics or videos, we go into it in deep with them. I wanted to discuss, before we get into anything else, the rules of the debate. So these are rules for both of these individuals up here. I want you guys to listen, and also in the comment section, you guys are welcome to comment anything you would like, but we want to keep it PG. So first rule is each participant will be given an opportunity to speak without interruptions. Please allow one person to finish their response before you respond. And if you have to mute yourself, mute yourself. Rule number 2, all language must remain appropriate and comply with TikTok guidelines. If you don't comply, I can get bananaed. I don't want to get bananaed, so I will have to be removing people if that happens. I'm not worried about it. Just want to explain that. And then lastly, the debate is going to run approximately till for about an hour. So once we start, it's going to be for about an hour, and then I will have to end the debate because I can't be on here all night, because I know you two probably could go for hours. But those are the rules of the game. We can get started, we can get going, and I will mute.
I'll allow guest first.
Hi, my name is King Sithis. I am a live streamer, libertarian, and a anarcho-capitalist. An anarcho-capitalist is a person who believes very strongly in capitalism, capitalism being the free exchange of goods and services between private property owners, and anarcho is without rulers. And we are basically, and to dumb it down, we are essentially against the government and the state. And whenever I say the state, I just want to let you guys know it is a catch-all term for the government. So that's basically what I mean when I say the state. So that means federal government, the state government, local government, doesn't matter. Just, it's a catch-all term for the government, but we just call it the state because that's kind of what we do. We're going to be talking principles today. Fundamentally, I believe very, very strongly in the idea of private property rights, which means that any law that interferes with the just use of a person's private property rights, in my view, is claiming ownership over something that does not belong to you. Fundamentally, if you are the owner of a scarce resource, ownership being the right to control a scarce resource, and control would be to use it in some sort of exclusionary way or to exclude others from that scarce resource. So that could be your house, your car, your body, and all the scarce resources in our life that we consider to be our own. So, again, like a car, a body, or this and this and that. I consider our body to be our scarce resource. Well, I don't consider it. It is a scarce resource. And because I believe that you have the right to exclude other people from your body, so long as you haven't initiated force against another innocent person, you have the right to exclude other people from your body. Now, that also comes with external resources as well. When it comes to your house, your car, your property, your business, you have the right, I believe, as a libertarian, to exclude other people from that scarce resource for any reason that you want, whether it be offensive, whether it be you don't like the person, whether they're black, whether they're midget, whether they're disabled. It does not matter from me to me. You have the right to exclude other people from that scarce resource the same way that you do with your body. All of these things are scarce resources, which means that in a dispute, we have to figure out who has the right to use it. If you have a person that is the owner of a scarce resource and you do not allow that person to use it, you are claiming ownership over a scarce resource that does not belong to you. If you then put into law that I must allow a dog into my business when I do not want to, you're basically saying that if I do not allow this dog into my business, then I'm going to use the arm of the state to either, to fine you, throw you in jail, which would be kidnapping, or kill you if I resist using some sort of weapons. Now, arguing that, oh, that's not going to happen, that barely gets enforced, this and this and that, none of that really matters to the principle of the argument. If you are saying that you believe that you ought to have the right to stop a person or to punish a person by law for going into their business and they refuse you, then you are basically claiming ownership over a scarce resource that doesn't belong to you, and you're using the arm of the state in order to enforce that, and there are consequences with that. So from here on out, I just want to talk basically the principles, only the principles, which is, are you willing to defend using the state to force people to do things with their property that they do not want to? And that's pretty much the argument, and I don't really support that. I'm very much against the idea of slavery, indentured servitude, or the theft in any way. So, yeah, that's why I'm against that. So now you have to justify why you believe that should be done and why you should force people.
All right. So first and foremost, I'm going to take all of your claims very seriously and really kind of test whether your views on race and discrimination actually line up with your values. So I'm going to ask you a couple of yes or no questions, okay? So you stated multiple times that, you believe a business has the right to refuse service based solely on race, yes or no?
Yes, if they want to.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand your position clearly before I evaluate it. So do you believe that people should be judged as individuals?
What do you mean by personally, I think that people should be judged as individuals. But do I think that the law should enforce that? No.
Okay, because you are aware that race and disabilities aren't an individual trait. It's a group category, correct? Yeah,
of course.
So you've said multiple times that you are a libertarian anarcho-capitalist. So when evaluating for those, how does racial and disability exclusion fit within your belief as an individual individual judgment?
Fundamentally, I am the owner. If I am, do you believe that? Well, first off, do you believe in private property rights?
Of course I do.
Okay. So that would mean that if you're the owner of some sort of scarce resource, you believe that you have the right to exclude other people from that scarce resource, correct?
To a degree, yes. Businesses are absolutely private property. I'm not disputing that, but there are certain, ethical and moral standards that you have to have whenever you're opening a business. Especially whenever you're opening it for public commerce. You're no longer using it as a private space, like your house or your car or anything like that. You're using it as a public-facing market.
Question then. So here's the fundamental question. Let's say you walk into my business. I say, get your dog out of here. I don't like it because he is a dog and you're a black person. I don't like black people. So get out of here. Do you think that the state should force me to serve you or punish me for not serving you?
Well, then why are you using unjust hierarchy?
That wasn't even a word in my sentence, miss.
I know. I'm just saying that would constitute a hierarchy, which would fundamentally alter your reality of being an anarchist, capitalist, libertarian.
I would consider that to be an unjust hierarchy. Absolutely, yes.
So then why would you in an open market?
You didn't answer my question, sir, miss. So my question was,
because we have justices.
Okay, so you think that we should force people to serve other people when they don't want to.
Pause. Remember the rules. State your statement. Let the other person talk. Then go with another one.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I just want to remember. Let's not talk over each other.
Okay.
So we're being fair.
Okay. But so
let's just be clear.
Yeah. But in your view, you view a negative connotation to hierarchies, which, would be either the government or, somebody telling you can't do this or you can't do that. Then why would you
telling somebody that what they can or can't do with their own property when they haven't violated anyone's rights.
But then are you comfortable with a society where someone can't buy food or get medical care because of their race or their disability?
Am I comfortable with that? No. Do I believe that people have the right to force other people to provide services to another person when they do not want to? No, I don't think that.
All right. I mean, are you aware that every business already operates under conditions like health codes, fire exits, contracts, liabilities, and rules and whatnot?
Regulations from the state are nothing but the state enforcing its will, its arbitrary decrees upon innocent people who would otherwise not want that.
All right. Do you understand why we have these rules, though?
Because the state is a criminal organization that enforces its will upon innocent people. It is a mafia that comes up to your door and basically says, hey, if you do not pay us for our protection, then we're going to kill you and shoot you and throw you off of your land. So basically because of that, it is able to enforce its will, its arbitrary decrees upon us without our consent.
Okay. So, first off, I'm going to hit you with a reality check. No one's getting shot over service dog policies or racial policies. Enforcements are like fines,
That doesn't
fees.
matter.
It does matter. They're not violent.
Okay, so I'll
the real
get
question
kidnapped
isn't
robbed, or I'll get kidnapped or robbed. So
well, the thing is that you're going to the most extreme end of it. It isn't a reasonable condition for operating a business that serves the
state
public.
is not the owner of my money. If I am if I am the business and I'm a business owner, right? And the state comes up to me and says, you need to pay us now because we don't like the fact that you discriminated against another person. They're extracting wealth.
I'm going to mute really quick because we're not letting people finish. I understand we're passionate. I have no against being passionate about this topic, but we got to let other people finish, guys, or else this debate is for no reason.
Wait, you kind of just cut me off to tell me that I need to tell other people to finish, but she asked me a question and I was answering it.
Yeah, but I wasn't also done.
Exactly.
Okay, go ahead then.
So the thing is that you're jumping to the most extreme conclusions, like it's a reasonable condition for operating a business that they're going to come get you. If you judge every rule by the absolute worst theoretical outcome, then all laws would be unacceptable. Contracts, property rights, even protections that you probably would support. Running a public-facing business means that you agree to certain baseline rules so that you can actually participate in an open market. Racial discrimination and service dog access are one of those things. It's about making exchange possible, but not by forcing someone into servitude. The only way that your argument really works is by jumping to they'll shoot me. And that's not really an argument about really anything. It's just an argument of all kinds of rules, which then go against your principles because you hold some level of rule and decorum for yourself as an anarchist, capitalist, libertarian.
Yeah, so us libertarians, of course, we believe in law, but we believe in law that has when it comes to the non-aggression principle, in order for there to be an aggression being done, there has to be some sort of measurable damage being done to another person by that other person to their private property. For an example of that would be me punching you, attacking you, stabbing you. If I refuse to allow you to use my property, I'm not violating any of your rights. I'm not initiating force against you. That's all I'm doing is saying you can't use my property. The same way if somebody came up to you and said, hey, can I give you a high five? And you said, I don't really want to touch your hand, right? Because your body is your property, from my view, you would have the right to exclude another person from using your body. And I would argue that you're not initiating force against that person from excluding that person, the same way with any other external resource as well. So yeah, I believe in law, but I don't believe in law that doesn't have a victim. If I refuse to allow you to go on my property, you're not a victim. I'm not victimizing you in any way.
But the thing is that inherently you kind of are, because you're saying, well, you have to meet my standards of being able to participate in this open and free market. Because as a libertarian, you believe in the free market, right?
Okay, yes, but here's the issue. What you're saying is...
yes, but is not a sentence. I'm going to stop you right there.
No.
Yes, but it is either you do or you don't, and you're not a libertarian.
No. Yes, but you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. The statement you said earlier misunderstands what I'm saying. I'm not barring anybody from engaging in the free market. What I want people to be barred from doing is violating the property rights of individuals. In order for you to have a free market, you have to have property rights that is enforced. and that would involve people being allowed to exclude other people from their property if they don't want them there. If you come in and force that person to allow others in their property, you no longer have a free market. You have a forced market.
So then here's the question. If a free market only, you are aware that a free market only works if people can actually enter it as customers, workers, entrepreneurs. Systematic exclusion actually does break that. You're really not arguing anything economically consistent here with your views. You're arguing, yes, I have the right to deny you access, but then you're also like, well, I'm also going to shoot myself in the foot because, word of the mouth travels faster than the speed of light. You can go from being a successful, business to being flat-skinned broke because nobody wants to be at your business because you have these discriminatory practices. I see it a lot with businesses, in my area that have been shut down for a lot less, whether they have dirty dishes or they have bugs in their restaurants or they have, rats running around the store, when you open up a business, you have to comply to certain social norms. And unfortunately, we are, as disabled people, a part of that social norm. And the same thing with, the racial discrimination as well. You use the word slavery a lot. I feel like you're trying to dilute what it means, because slavery means being forced to work or serve under threat with no ability to refuse or an exit. A business owner choosing to operate in a public-facing business isn't being forced to exist or work. They're choosing to participate in a market.
Okay. So a free market requires people to be free to do what they want with their private property. If you're being forced to allow people on your property when you don't want them to, well, then that's not a free market. That is a forced market. Again, okay. Period. It's just very simple. And to go back around, you're basically saying that, because you're disabled, you have the right to force other people to serve you. And with your definition that you gave earlier, I agree with it 100%. When you are basically saying that if you do not serve this person, there's going to be a threat of punishment that is going to be done to you by the law. And when you don't owe that person any service, if I'm a private property owner, I don't owe anyone any service. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you're it doesn't matter if you're disabled, have a broken leg, or a midget, or a veteran, right? Of 20 wars, right? People's property belong to them, and that means that they have the right to exclude other people from that property. And I'm being very clear with this. I believe in a free market, and a free market requires people to be allowed to do what they want with their property. And that also means excluding other people from the property. And just because some people have the right to exclude you from their property doesn't mean you're not allowed to engage in the free market. A free market is merely the consensual trade of private property between two private property owners. If I say I don't want you in my building, I'm not stopping you from trading with other people. I'm just saying I don't want you to trade with me. It's very simple. But
then you're no longer engaging in free public market.
With your own definition of slavery, you've met all the criteria in which you're supporting, because that is what you're literally saying. If I do not serve you, then I'll be thrown in a cage or kidnapped or forced to pay a fine against my will.
Okay.
I don't care if Miss Slur.
It is a slur, and for TikTok purposes, can you just refer to them as little people, please?
All right, sorry, I apologize, little person.
Thank you.
Whatever.
Little person is the correct term, but thank you.
Little person.
Educator, can you go back on mute, please? Thank you. But the thing is that your definition doesn't fit of slavery doesn't fit into open market, because again, like I said, when you choose to operate and own a business, you don't necessarily lose the rights to certain things, but you do open yourself up to more.
Hang on. Sis, I had to remove you because you violated TikTok guidelines, and I cannot let you back up now.
Told you.
No, I can't let him back up. I can't. It says if I let him back up, if anybody lets him back up, I get penalized. Do not let him up.
Well, I mean, that was a fun debate. I guess I'm just gonna end it here. But my final. Can you mute yourself?
Yeah, hang on.
Yeah, and I don't care if blank as a slur is gross behavior. That's dehumanizing as shit and goes against all your values. You're not really defending any freedoms. You're rejecting any rules you don't like and calling it slavery. Your definition of slavery includes letting a disabled person enter your business with a service dog. The word doesn't mean anything anymore, and neither does your argument. Your version of freedom only works if someone has less of it, and then it's not really freedom, it's preference, and it's hypocritical to your foundation of being anarchist, libertarian, capitalist. So, you're just you're all over the place. Your mentality is really, it's really askewed and really backwards. Unfortunately, we weren't able to finish our debate. But I don't think that you're going to be helped in any way, shape, or form because you've made it very clear that I would say that you're not really an anarchist, libertarian, or capitalist or anything. I think you're just somebody that's very confused that wants to fit into these narrative norms that isn't really a thing. You have a very hateful, hurtful mentality, and unfortunately, you call it in the name of things that are actually kind of okay. And I'm actually aware of what those norms are. I'm okay with what a libertarian, anarchist, capitalist means. But you've skewed it to such a point that it just is bigotry and hatred. You're excusing racism, which goes against all foundations of everything. You're okay with ableism, which doesn't allow anybody any kind of movement, social or any movement at all. So unfortunately, we aren't able to continue this debate. And honestly, I have no reason or justification to continue an argument with somebody that is fundamentally flawed and doesn't really understand what he's talking about. I'll debate ideas, but I'm not going to engage with arguments that rely on dehumanizing people. I'm sorry.
Also, I didn't remove you just because I wanted to. I removed you because of TikTok guidelines, and I warned both of you. Literally when I just started, I said the rules are TikTok friendly words. Use TikTok friendly language. If you do not and I get flagged, I will remove whoever and they will not be allowed back up. Because then that means I get banana and I'm not getting banana. Yeah, because I'm allowing it. I worked too hard for this channel.
But yeah, I have no.
Hang on.
I've got no reason to debate him again. His beliefs are very askewed and unfortunately hold no merit nor water. He wants to hide his racism, bigotry, and his own prejudice against himself. I believe last time that y'all talked, he said that he was he was Puerto Rican. So unfortunately, he holds his own biases against himself, and that's essentially shooting yourself in the foot, which does nobody any good except for you. It just hobbles you, not anyone else. And I'm glad that he has no.
I just want to say really quick, I hope that when somebody denies him into an establishment, for whatever reason, he respects that and he leaves. And he doesn't make a fuss about it. He doesn't complain about, not being able to get groceries or go to a restaurant or whatever the case is. And just because of he's Puerto Rican or whatever the case is that they have, he respects them and he leaves. And he can go hungry that night, or he can drive another 2 to 3 hours away.
And maybe even then they won't let him in. So it's unfortunate, but like I said, I'm willing to debate rationally, but as a professional debater, that guy had zero rationality. He spoke a lot. He spoke very intelligently, but without substance to the intelligence. By the way, I am a centrist. I believe in capitalism. I believe in free market. I believe in open trade and whatnot. But yeah.
Well,
that was
how sad.
That was a sad debate.
You broke the rules.
You broke the TikTok rules. She even stipulated it in the beginning. And sorry, I don't debate I don't engage in arguments that rely on dehumanizing people. And unfortunately, you made it very clear that your racism, bigotry, and self-hatred and loathing are a part of you. And unfortunately, your character sucks, quite frankly. I don't wish to debate you any further because you don't know what it means to be an anarcho-capitalist libertarian. You're just using your racism and bigotry and calling it that.
Not going to act like an adult, then we'll show you the door.
There's the door. Don't let the boot hit you on the way out.
Just because you're mad because you got taken down because you broke TikTok guidelines. When I stipulated in the beginning to have TikTok friendly language for a reason.
Like we even warned you.
100%. Well, that is it for the Beyond the Leash podcast today. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. I'm so sorry that took a turn. But make sure you guys comment, and that helps us out, and leave a like as well. I hope you guys enjoyed the show for what you guys saw. Make sure that we reach this out to more dog lovers like you guys. Stay positive, keep those tails wagging, and give your pup an extra treat from us, Service Dog Educator and Bumblebee. We will see you guys next month with another regular scheduled podcast at the end of the month. Look for us putting the date out on our TikTok channels, which is linked below in our bio. Much love and appreciation, and we'll see you guys next month with another podcast. Goodbye.
Have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong.